Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series on microprocessor and peripheral interface. In previous two sessions we have covered the functional block diagram of 8255, pin configuration of 8255 and controlled word register format for BSR and IO modes. In this session we are going to cover the IO operating modes of 8255. So IO operating modes. 8255 is working in two modes, BSR mode and IO operating mode. In IO operating mode, there are again three basic IO operating modes. Mode 0, it is called as basic input output or simple input output mode. Mode 1 is strobed input output and mode 2 is strobed bidirectional input output. So first one is mode 0, that is simple input output mode. In this mode all the three ports, that is port A, port B and port C, can work as simple input function or simple output function. In this mode there is no interrupt handling capacity. Port C can be individually programmed as a 4-bit ports. Now the features. In this mode there are two 8-bit ports A and B and two 4-bit port, that is port C. All ports can be separately programmed. If port programmed as output, then the outputs are latched, and if the port is programmed as input, then inputs are buffered. So as 4 ports are to be used, 16 different IO configurations are possible in this simple input output mode. Now this 8255 is initialized in input mode. In this mode 0, again we can initialize 8255 as input mode by using the controlled register. When CPU wants to read the data from the input port, in that case the CPU will first send the address of port on address lines. So the address lines are A0 and A1, and along with this address lines chip select signal is also sent by the CPU. So CS bar A0 and A1 will select the appropriate port. So for port selection these three pins are very important. So if these three pins are having 0 0 0, in that case our port A is selected. Now here in this case port A is selected if CS bar is 0, A0 is 0 and A1 is 0. So port A is selected as input mode, means port A is acting now as a input port. So after selecting a port, CPU will send the read bar signal to read the data from the external peripheral through the port and data bus. So when the signal is received for A0, A1 and CS bar, port A is selected as input port, then CPU releases this read bar signal. Here read bar is activated in this portion. Then the data available from the peripheral, external peripheral, that data can be read through this port A, which is acting as a input port. These are the timing waveforms for mode 0 input mode. Similarly, we can design 8255 in output mode by selecting the appropriate control register. Now when CPU wants to send some data on the output port, in that case initially the CPU will first send the address of port on which the data has to send, along with that CS bar signal is also sent. So this CS bar A0 and A1 will select the appropriate port as output port. So if these three bits are 0, then port A is selected, and now in this case port A is acting as a output port. So once the port is selected to output the data, after that CPU will send the write bar signal to write the data to the port through the data bus. So from this data bus D0 to D7, once the write bar is activated, the data is written on the output port, that is in this case it is port A. Now as the port is in output mode, the contents will get latched in the port, and these are the timing waveforms for mode 0 in output mode. Now next mode is mode 1, that is strobed input output mode. So here in this strobed input output mode, handshake input output, it is called as handshake input output mode or strobed input output mode. In this mode, either port A or port B can work as simple input port or simple output port, and port C bits are used for handshake signals before actual data transmission. It has interrupt handling capacity, and input and outputs are latched. Now the features of mode 1. In this mode 1, two 8-bit ports are there, which are port A and port B, which functions as input output ports. Each port uses 3 lines from port C as handshake signals, and the remaining lines from port C are used as simple input output. That means two ports A and B along with the 3 lines from port C, which are handshake signals, are used in this mode 1. Input and output data are latched in this mode 1. Now we will see the mode 1 input mode. In case of mode 1 input mode, let's consider port A. When a port A is selected as input mode, here we can observe this is the interfacing of input mode. So this is 8255, this is input device, this is 8259, and here is our 8086. So port A is selected as input port. So this port A uses the 3 bits of port C. That 3 bits are PC4, PC5 and PC3. And if instead of port A, port B is used, in that case port B uses PC0, PC1 and PC2 signals for handshake purpose. So here port A is selected as input, and for that PC3, PC4 and PC5 lines of port C are represented. The port A, port B and the handshake signals are interfaced with the peripheral. Here it is represented how the interfacing is done, and the main purpose of this interfacing is to transfer data from this input device to the CPU with the help of this 8255. Okay, so here the 3 handshake signals which are from the port C, that 3 handshake signals are STB. We can observe here STB bar, it is actually STB bar. So this is strobe input. Second one is IBF, it is input buffer full, and the third one is INTR, that is interrupt request. Now what is this STB? It is strobe input. As we can observe here, it is bar, that means it is active low signal. Now if this IBF, that is input buffer full, we can observe in this diagram that this STB signal is from this input device to this 8255, means it is the input signal for 8255. 8255, and this IBF, it is the output signal of this 8255 to this input device. So if this IBF signal is not present, in that case this STB signal gets generated by this input device, and this STB signal indicates that it has transmitted the data or written the data on this input port. So the data is written on the input port. That information is represented by this STB signal to this 8255 if the IBF signal is not present. When 8255 gets data with this STB bar signal, the input buffer contains the data byte. So 8255 will now generate this IBF signal. Means once the 8255 receives the input data in the input buffer along with this STB bar signal, in that case the 8255 will generate this IBF signal. Now this is second handshake signal is IBF, that is input buffer full. This is active high output signal of 8255. This is generated by 8255 in response with this strobe signal to give the acknowledgement to this peripheral device about the received data. The input buffer full signal indicates that a data byte is present in the input port which is latched. The IBF signal is active. The peripheral, means if this IBF signal is active, then this peripheral device will not send the next data, and when this IBF is received, then IBF is reset. In that case the input device can send the data. This IBF signal is reset with the help of this CPU. So this CPU, it activates the read input port signal to reset this IBF signal. After that, next is INTR. So it is interrupt request. This is also the active high output signal generated by this 8255. If interrupt driven input output is used, then this INTR signal is used to interrupt this CPU, means to interrupt this 8086 processor. This INTR signal is used to indicate CPU to read the input port. If the data is present on this input port, to read that input port, this instruction is given to this 8086 by this INTR signal through this 8259. So this is input mode of mode 1. Next, these are the timing waveforms for mode 1 input mode. So for in case of interrupt driven input output mode or input mode, here INTR signal is important. So here in this case the data is transferred by the peripheral to 8255 and the strobe signal is made low. Here we can observe the strobe signal is made low once the data is transferred from this peripheral to this 8255. Along with that, strobe is generated, means strobe signal is made low. When this strobe signal is received by 8255, 8255 generates IBF signal. In response to this strobe, IBF signal is generated. So once this strobe signal is active low, IBF signal is made active, means it is made high. When IBF is generated, the condition of strobe, IBF and INT is satisfied to generate the INTR signal. That means when this IBF is 1, strobe is 1 and INT is 1, in that case the INTR signal will be activated. So once these signals are having 1 value, in that case this INTR signal is also generated by this 8255. In response to this INTR signal, the CPU, or we can say that 8086 processor, it will generate the read bar signal. Means read bar signal gets activated in response to this INTR signal. The read operation will reset. Once this read is activated, this read will reset the IBF signal. This IBF signal will be reset by this read operation, as well as this INTR signal is also deactivated by this read bar signal. When the peripheral want to send next data byte, in that case it will check IBF signal again. If it is low, it will repeat the steps which I have just mentioned to transfer the next data byte. So by this way, the data on port bits of peripheral to 8255 are transferred to 8086 once this read bar signal is activated, and this happens in case of interrupt driven input case. Now in case of status driven input, the port C is utilized for this purpose. The CPU will read the port C of 8255. It will check IBF signal. If it is high, then a data is read from the port. If the IBF is low, the CPU will go on reading and checking the IBF signal again. And for that purpose, the port C is used as a status word, and the definition of status word for port C is represented like this. This D0 bit is for INTR for group B. This is for IBF for group B, INT for group B. This is INTR signal for group A, INT and IBF for group A, and these two are for input output. So these are the port C definitions in mode 1 input mode in case of status driven IO, status driven input mode. Next is mode 1 output mode, and for that mode 1 output mode, this is the interfacing of mode 1 output mode. So in case of mode 1 output mode, port A and port B are used as output ports, and port C is used for the handshake signals. If port A is used as output port, in that case PC3, PC6 and PC7 are used from port C, and if port B is used as an output port, along with that PC0, PC1 and PC2, this is PC0. Okay, so PC0, PC1 and PC2, these from the port C are used for the handshake purpose. The port A, port B and handshake signals are interfaced with the peripheral as shown in this diagram. So here only port B and related port B handshake signals from port C are represented in this diagram. Port A and handshake from port C are not represented here. So if instead of this PB, PA is there, in that case PC3, PC6 and PC7 from port C are used. Okay, so the main purpose of the interfacing is to transfer data from CPU to the output device or this peripheral device. Here the three handshake signals are nothing but output buffer full, then acknowledge and INTR. Here OBF signal, if we observe, it is OBF bar is acknowledgement signal, again it is acknowledgement bar. Now we'll see first acknowledgement signal OBF, that is output buffer full. It is active low output signal which is generated by this 8255. When this CPU writes the data to the output port, the data is available in the output port. Now here it is port B as a output port. It is indicated by giving this OBF signal to this output device. This signal is used to indicate that the new data is ready to be read. In response to this OBF signal, peripheral reads the data byte from this output port and gives the acknowledgement signal. So after receiving acknowledgement signal by this 8255, 8255 removes this OBF signal. Next is acknowledge bar. So this acknowledge signal, as we have seen, it is active low and it is generated by the peripheral device for this use of 8255, and it is generated in response with this reception of this OBF signal. And after that the next handshake signal is nothing but INTR, that is interrupt request. It is active high output signal generated by 8255. This INTR signal is used to interrupt the CPU if interrupt driven input output system is used. If this INTR is equal to 1, this condition specifies that the output buffer is empty, peripheral is not reading the data, and interrupt system is enabled. In response to INTR, CPU will write the data to this 8255's output port. Means once this INTR signal is equal to 1, it is received by this 8086, it will write the data on the output port of 8255. So these are the handshake signals used in mode 1 output mode of 8255. Now these are the timing waveform for mode 1 output mode. So as we have seen the working here, what happens? First of all, this OBF bar signal is activated. When this OBF bar signal is activated and received by this peripheral device, in response to this OBF signal, the acknowledgement signal is generated, which is active low. Okay. At the same time, here the write bar signal is activated. When this write bar signal is activated, this write bar signal will activate this OBF as well as this INTR, and in response to this OBF, acknowledgement signal is generated. Now here, once the acknowledgement signal is generated, OBF signal is removed by this 8255. Acknowledgement signal is received by 8255, then 8255 will remove the OBF. So once acknowledgement is generated and received by 8255, then the OBF signal is removed. Okay, once after that, once acknowledge is made 1, the INTR is also made 1. So here the write bar is activated. In that case, the data is written by 8086 to 8255 output port, and when the acknowledgement signal is low, INTR is low and OBF is low, in that case 8255 will write the data or give the data to the peripheral. So this is the timing waveform for mode 1 output mode. In case of status driven output, port C is used for this handshake purpose, and these are the definitions in mode 1 output mode for port C. So here this D0, D1 and D2, these bits are for group B, D3, then D6 and D7, these are for group A, and D4 and D5, these are simple input output signals. Now second mode is bidirectional strobed input output mode. Bidirectional data bus mode, this is also called as bidirectional data bus mode. In this mode, only port A works and port B can work either in mode 0 or mode 1. 6 bits port C are used as handshake signals. It also has interrupt handling capacity. This is the interfacing of mode 2, that is strobed bidirectional input output. Here in this diagram we can observe that port A, it is having direction in both the ways. That means port A is acting as a input as well as output port. That's why here this port A is having input as well as output latch. The transfer of data from this port A, or the data is received through this port A, this can be achieved by the handshake signals of port C. So as we have seen, the port C handshake signals, that are PC3, PC4, PC5, PC6 and PC7. These are the port C bits which are used for the handshake purpose. Now the different handshake signals are nothing but OBF, that is output buffer full, then ACK, that is acknowledge, then STB bar, that is strobe, and IBF, that is input buffer full. These are the different handshake signals. Along with this INTR, this INTR signal is given to 8086 through this 8259. As we have seen in mode 1 and mode 1 input and output, how this INTR signal is given to 8086. In similar way, here also INTR signal is given to 8086 through this 8259. Here this is this mode 2, it is a combination of mode 1 input and output at a time. So here port A is acting as an input port as well as a output port. So we know here the OBF, it is output buffer full, it is active low output signal generated by this 8255. When the CPU writes the data to this output port, that means port A, in that case this 8255 will enable this OBF signal to indicate this peripheral device that the data is available in the output buffer. Okay, so to indicate the presence of data in the output buffer, this OBF signal is generated by 8255. So after that this peripheral device, once this peripheral device receives the OBF signal, it reads the data from the output buffer or output port and it sends the acknowledge signal to this 8255. Now this acknowledge signal, it is active low signal generated by this peripheral device to this 8255. The acknowledgement signal is used to acknowledge 8255 that the data is read from port A, so that 8255 will remove the OBF signal. Then after that the these two signals, means OBF and ACK signals, these are used for output operation, means for sending the data from 8086 to the peripheral. Now in case of input operation, instead of these two signals, STB and IBF signals are used. So STB bar, so this is active low input signal. When the peripheral writes the data on this port, it generates a signal STB bar to indicate 8255 that it has written the data. Actually here the direction of this arrow is wrong. Here it is the input signal, that means the arrow direction should be at this side, this arrow should be at this position. So this strobe signal is the input signal for this 8255. After that this IBF signal, here also the direction is wrong, this direction should be at this location. That means this IBF, it is the input buffer full signal which is active high, which is generated by this 8255. to indicate that the data is available in the input port. So this is mode 2 interfacing, that is strobed bidirectional input output interfacing of 8255 and the peripheral device. These are the timing diagrams for mode 2. Here in this case the output signal is given by 8255 to request CPU service. The INTR is generated in two different conditions, input and output. So we can observe that write bar is activated, and once the write bar is activated, INTR signal gets activated. After that, as we have seen in this case, the OBF signal is generated, and in response to that ACK signal gets generated. So here OBF signal gets generated once the write bar is activated, and in response to this OBF signal the ACK signal is also activated, and once the ACK signal gets activated, OBF signal will be removed. Then the strobe signal, when it is activated, in response to that IBF signal is also made high. Here the data from peripheral to 8255 is sent, and the data from 8255 to peripheral is sent in that case. When the read bar is activated, here what happens, the data can be read from the input port of this 8255 by the 8086, and when the write bar is activated, 8086 will write the data to the output port of this 8255. So these are the timing waveforms or timing diagrams for mode 2. So here in this video lecture we have studied the three IO operating modes, that are mode 0, mode 1 and mode 2. Thank you for watching the video.